Hey everybody, today we're going to look at the UX5C quadcopter from USA Toyz. It is a camera drone. It does have a 1020 by 1280 by 720p HD camera. They say it is for indoor and outdoor, but I probably wouldn't try to fly this indoor unless I had a lot of practice. I'm just gonna look over the box real quick. I haven't opened this yet, but I want to read off some of the stuff that it does have. It does have a, if I remember right on this, it has an onboard TF slot so that it stores the videos local to the machine, which is really nice in the fact that you don't have to worry about Wi-Fi signals, things like that, or having to have a smartphone. Right out of the box, this comes with everything you need to be able to fly this quadcopter, including a 4 gig TF card, which is really nice, as well as a USB TF card reader. They also provide 4 spare blades, the blade guards, which do have retaining screws so that you don't lose it or they don't pop out. And then they've remapped some of the buttons on this controller from some of the other ones that I've used. You have your 3D roll button on the top right here. This one right here switches also on the shoulder. This shoulder button switches between your high and your low. And then you have your trims. This is your yaw and your throttle. This one is your directional. Then you have, if you push this one in, it switches on and off headless mode, which is really good for beginners. And your camera on and off is this one. They've also provided you not 1 but 2 batteries, which makes this really nice for flight times. I quite appreciate the fact that they do provide you with 2 batteries. I don't believe the battery that is in the compartment is hooked up, but it just kind of fits real snug right down inside of this compartment here. We'll go ahead and hook that up and show you how to pair this and just how to work the camera. I do have the TF card already inserted in the back of the camera. And then we'll get some close-ups, and then we'll finish this off with some video from this quadcopter as it's flying. Installing the batteries on the unit were really quite easy. With the battery, you just have to pop open this bottom case, or this bottom hatch, and then it slides down in there and fits really quite tight. The 2 provided batteries are both 500 milliamps each, milliamp hours. So I would hope that they give decent flight times, though I'm not sure. We'll definitely test that out and I'll report back on that. However, it does look like the batteries do need charged. They don't come pre-charged. So I will charge those up and then get right back to you. One thing I do want to make mention of is that the camera on this drone is a fixed position camera. There is no adjusting it, so the angle that it is at without modifications is what you're going to end up getting. It's really quite a shame that they don't have some way of adjusting that, and I might try to figure out a decent way to be able to do so, and if I can, I will include that in this video as well. But right now that's the only thing I see that really is a concern of mine, is the fact that I can't reposition this camera the way that I would like to. Other than that, it seems like a really fairly solid build. The landing gear is quite a bit more minimalistic than some of the other quadcopters that I've been able to fly, and I hope that that will allow for better flight times and a little bit more stabilization. The unit itself is really quite light, and I'm sure that it will perform quite well. So I'll get those batteries charged up, and then we'll get some footage of this bird in air. Half hour later, the battery was fully charged. I don't know if that it said it only had a partial charge to it, or if it really only took that long to charge. If so, that's really, really good for charging times. I'd imagine it probably did have a partial charge to it. But now we're going to try to pair it up with this remote, and then we'll show you some of the lights on the quadcopter, as well as the indicators showing how the camera is working, or if the camera is working. It did pair quite fast. And now if you look on the underside, you can see that there are 2 green LEDs and 2 orangish LEDs, as well as red bands on the top side of these to show you where your front is if you're not flying it in headless mode. Of course, the green are your front, and the red or orange are the back of the device. If I now press in the camera button, it did flash, which means we should be recording now. And if you see, I think I was taking stills actually just by touching the button, holding it in. Gives you a red blinking indicator showing that it is recording. So a single button click is a still. And it does seem to be fairly responsive actually. Again, now we're recording. I wish there was a way to tell on the remote that we were recording, but I'm not seeing one. This will be our maiden flight with the USA Toyz drone. I have this in headless mode right now, and I've got the camera rolling, so we'll be able to see the footage hopefully somewhere in one of these corners. Initial thoughts are that it handles quite well. It all works really well. Headless mode is working quite well. It's quite a lot of fun. Hopefully the footage looks really good too. Go ahead and try to land it back down right here. And then we'll check out the footage. Again, like I said, hopefully it'll be either on one of the final thoughts on this. A lot of fun. It's a really easy one to learn how to fly on, and you do have the camera. I also plan on trying this without the guards at some point because I know that I'll get better battery life out of it, but I was able to recharge a completely dead battery in about a half an hour as well, so I know that's about how long it took. The flight time on this runs somewhere between 7 and 10 minutes. 7 minutes with all of the gear on it, 10 minutes if we were to strip everything off. Great price for a really fun hobby, or way to get into the hobby. The only
only thing that I could find with it that I wish was something that they would change or be able to fix in another model is the ability to adjust the camera, again, where it's just a fixed point camera. I know that it's a lot more expensive to have one that has a mechanical gimbal in it, and that's, you know, a totally different price point, but I'm sure they could come up with some way to be able to just adjust this before flight